Your business is not slow. Your work is just unclear. So that's the topic I want us to touch on today. So if you run a business or you lead, manage a team, this is going to be a very useful video for you. And if you don't know me, my name is Michael. I just recently started an AI business school, and it's a community where all founders and builders in the space get to meet and share ideas. I also share a lot of resources in the community. So if you want to be part of it, I'll leave a link in the description. But let's dive into it. So I'll start with the mess that happens a lot in businesses. And this can apply to any sort of business, whether or not you're in the consultancy space or you render a service or a product, because at the end of the day, you're always interacting or dealing with a customer. And normally, how the flow works is this. So, a customer request arrives, and I'll use an example of a tech consultancy. So, assume you build products for businesses or companies, and this could be anything from a website to an automation they need. And a client reaches out with a specific request. So if you don't have a clear pipeline of how such a request is processed, what happens is guys are going to come together and say, request X has come through. And normally, what happens is you end up being in a call, for instance, or a meeting. And at the end of the day, if nobody gets to own that specific process or client in this case, it means there's going to be bigger problems down the road. And normally, what I see, or normally what happens, is if you're the owner of the organization, you're going to start chasing updates. Yes. So, assuming you clearly know these three clients who reached out, if nobody owns that specific process, it means you're going to be following up on, is there anybody handling this? Because normally, if a clear pipeline has been set in place, it means even without asking, you should be knowing on a daily basis. Client X reached out, and person Y is the one in charge of this. And it also happens on the customer side, yes. And how I normally see this is it's something I also experience a lot. If I'm making an order online and they probably don't communicate in time, what happens is you probably need to send a follow up as a customer. And whenever that happens, at the back of my head, I'm always thinking they've literally failed in this process because I'm probably talking to three other companies who can render the same service. If you don't get to respond in time, it means I'm going to go to the next company to get the same service. So it's a big thing I usually see, and it's where many organizations or companies or even businesses get to fail. Then what happens is normally still in the mess equation, work is going to get stuck where nobody owns the process or nobody owns the lead or customer who came through. Then on my end, I'll be left waiting with no clear direction. And the cost of this, because I think that's even way bigger, is trust is going to drop. If there's a next time I need to probably get, assuming I want to buy say a speaker, for instance, if I reached out to you last time and you did not respond in time, it means the likelihood of me actually coming back to you is going to be very, very low. And also the cost of this internally is there's going to be a blame game where you'll hear somebody say, I thought Anne was handling it, or I thought James was the one doing it. So this is a very bad position to be in when you can actually fix the pipeline of how your customers come through. Then the other thing is a deadline slips. Back to the business I was using as an example. So if somebody was reaching out to probably get a website for a new business starting, if the process is ideally a customer reaches out, then we get into a call or we get to send a proposal if the ask is clear. If there's no specific owner, it means the proposal won't be sent on time. The proposal not being sent on time, it means we never get to meet deadlines of when things should be going out. And that's a position you never want to be in a business. The other part is money leaks. And this is very crucial, especially for small businesses, because you're renting a space and you definitely have a team that's doing this. Every minute your business is alive, that's money you're spending. And if clients are falling through your pipeline, that clearly means that's money that you are losing. So again, we're still in the cost section of this. And the end result of this is usually confusion within the organization, where nobody knows who's doing what. And if you were to follow up, all you get is, let me get back to you. So I think this is a big price many businesses are paying today. And it's usually a problem that's avoidable. And even as you're watching this, I know at the back of your mind, you've probably had a business where you reached out to probably buy something and the response time was very instant. Yeah. You ask for something, they get back to you. You have a question, assuming you want a photo sent to you, they send it instantly to you. And I think being on the customer side of things, you usually appreciate the little things like timely communication. How well do they get back to you? Do they properly answer your questions? Yeah. And you've also experienced the exact opposite, where you wanted to get something, assuming you're buying a product from a shop. And what happens is you send a message, they probably don't respond in time. And whenever they get back to you, it's probably in a very chaotic manner where they leave you even more confused. So I think we can get into the fix for this, especially again, if you're running a business. And I'll share a few solutions that you can start as soon as tomorrow so that such issues don't fall through the cracks. So the fix for this is whenever something comes into your organization, be it a client request, be it a customer who wants to buy something from you, have a clear process in which everything has a specific owner. So I'll give you an example. Let's say company X reached out to you today and they want a website built for them. Whenever that request comes in, have a very clear owner of this specific client. So it means they come, ask for a specific request, then it's routed to the relevant individual who handles such requests. So once that's in place, always have clear next steps. Company X has reached out, and the next step ideally is maybe a discovery call. Maybe it's sharing a proposal if you guys already communicating on email. So have a very clear next step. So once again, have a clear owner when something comes in, then have a very clear next step. Then the other one is having due dates for everything. And the reason I say this is because I lead engineers and I'm very particular on commitments. So if something is to be done, don't just leave it hanging as I will do it. So normally and if you probably worked with me, that's something you're going to come across a lot. Make somebody commit to something, especially if there's high stakes to it. And it doesn't even matter if it's a high stakes thing at all. Commitments, commitments, commitments. So this means if somebody is to do something, tell them or ask them, when should I expect it? So they'll probably tell you Friday, narrow down. Friday what time? So let's say Friday 2 p.m. So in that case, it means it also becomes easy to keep people accountable. So back to the fix, having due dates for everything. So whenever something comes in, if there's a proposal, get a specific date when a proposal should be sent out. Then the other thing is spotting gaps. I think it's very important to note that building a business or running a team, you never have all the answers because at the end of the day, you're going to find these mistakes that are going to happen. And the only way you get to improve is learn from it and iterate. I'll simplify this by saying, assuming there's a gap you usually have whenever you're onboarding new employees, It's something you've seen a number of times happening. So the best thing to do is you need to be aware of where your processes are constantly failing, because this helps you to know this is what needs fixing and this is what is working well. So, to the last bit of this, and it's a task I'd ask you to do as soon as this week. I want you to audit three tasks or processes or functions in your organization. And for each task that you're going to audit, I want you to have very clear questions on these three specific things. Who owns this specific task? Then the second one is, what is the next step? And the third one is, when is it due? I believe a majority of your problems are going to be solved with just these three questions. So before you say your business is slow, ask yourself, is it really slow, or I just have unclear tasks that are causing delays? So if you like this, like, follow, or subscribe depending on where you're watching. And if you want to join the AI Business School community, I'll leave a link in the description, and see you in the next episode.